For me, when I host, it's less. I feel like it's less pressure. It's like people don't expect you to be the funniest. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You don't even have to do like a tight set. You can talk to the audience.
It's encouraged. It's almost
Yeah.
encouraged inside by some people and headliners that you don't do that well. It's like, do moderate.
Property Ebonics.
This proper Ebonics,
Proper
fellow.
bonds. Kirk Allen and the parrot.
Yeah, man. Last time we had dogs. This time we have parrots. We're very animal friendly here at Proper Ebonics. Unless your animal is a possum. We don't like possums here at Proper Ebonics. I mean that, bro.
No, bro, I heard two rats. I don't know if it was two rats, but it was a gang of rats fighting yesterday, man. It was the scariest noise I've ever heard. It was all squeaking and it was like thudding, like they was throwing each other around. I was like, oh my God, it's disgusting.
Messing around, throwing slices of cheese pizza at each other and all that. I've seen those World Star videos of Chuck E. Cheese fights, so I know what you're talking about. And the rats let loose. They disregard the kids. Mace sometimes comes out.
Mace, like the rapper?
I mean more like the weapon, but yeah, I'm sure Mace makes an appearance. He's on stage rapping and a fight breaks out during Chuck E. Cheese. That must be wild. Speaking of Mace, man, we didn't see him at a particular event in the Garden that happened last week.
Yeah.
That a lot of people thought he was going to make an appearance for. LOX versus Dipset.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought Mace was going to come out on either side, too. That's the thing. It's like the affiliation. Did you watch it, by the way, versus?
I watched most of it afterwards, though. Like, I didn't get to watch it live. Like, I went back. People were talking about it so much. I was like, I got to go back and watch it. And I watched most of it, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it was like a 2-hour thing.
Yeah.
As adults, it's like, I don't know if I could rewatch a whole 2-hour thing, but I did play it in the background and watch like the major parts of it and like the songs that like I recognized. Man, I know it's like over a week now, but like it still resonates to me, that performance by the whole team, like everyone there, but like, mainly Jadakiss. Like they're talking about like putting his jersey up at Madison Square Garden. And rightfully so. That was like that was an amazing, profound New York City performance.
Yeah. They came ready to battle. And I see the interview that they did. They said it. It was like, man, we practiced, we rehearsed, we went over what the other side was going to say about us. Like they were ready. Like you can tell, like they practiced. And
they did which I don't know if that's the interview you're referring to, the Breakfast Club interview. Yeah. It's crazy. That already has 1 million views over a day. It's like, damn, LOX, that really like their stock is already high. It's legendary status. But like this one just like skyrocketed it, where like people are playing We Are the Streets that would never play We Are the Streets. Do you have a favorite LOX song?
You know what? I'm not sure, yo. A lot of my favorite LOX songs are features.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 24 Hours to Live is one of my favorites. You know what I mean? But it's a lot. I think that they did a good job by playing their freestyles too.
Yeah, that was a good move in that because a lot of times people weren't too sure if they were like actual freestyles or like references for old ones. There's so many things they left out on both ends too. Same for Dipset. Yeah. But Jada, I thought he was going to do Champ Is Here at some point, and I think the room would have went crazy if he did. Like that's like in terms of like mixtape songs.
Yeah.
For Jada in general, I feel like that's one of like top 10 mixtape records that are like known. So I thought he was definitely going to do that. But I think because he did so much of performances and he already did a versus battle, he didn't do much solo stuff. Like he didn't do like Blood Pressure, even though like that's off the LOX record sort of thing. Another one that would have went crazy if he did that there. But it was a spectacle. It was cool to see.
It was good. And one thing I want to say was I don't feel like I've seen anyone say this. It wasn't a major blowout like people made it seem.
No.
Like when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, Dipset they're kind of holding their own. Like Jadakiss is another level, but like Dipset they were holding their own, They were,
yeah. I think it was just like, and I think because Jada is so immersed in like the battle rap culture, he picks up on some of it too, and just little things you could like do throw them off like mentioning that they have background music.
Yeah.
And if they have background music for their whole thing now it just kind of seems like they have a disadvantage because they didn't get rid of it. But they were good, like Certified Gangsters. That was one. I was pretty hype when I heard that. Dipset Anthem, that was pretty cool.
Yep.
There's a lot of ones. I don't think they did Horses and Carriages.
I don't think so.
There's a few where it's like I think they could have at least played the beat for it just to hype us up.
They were playing like 3 songs at once. You know, did you see that? They were like play like the beat for one song and then the hook for another song and then rap another song before they went back to the locks. It was a different format. Usually just like one song, but like it was like they had like 2 minutes, so they were like jamming like 3 songs in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And then playing.
Maybe I didn't fully pay attention when Dipset was on as much as I like to think. I think the song was like a Purple Gang or Purple something Perp Gang by Jim Jones. And Styles P was just like, we don't know that shit. I was like, true, I don't know this song. But there's a lot of ones left off there. And they mentioned that interview how like they held some back. Yeah. And I don't know, I would just love to see like more of that. Like that was by far one of the best versus battle I did, to the point where they're talking about like they can't do another hip hop one next. They have to do like a comedy versus battle or like a ballet versus battle, but you can't have another hip hop one right after one like that because it's not going to live up to it.
They got to go R&B. Like, they have to go R&B or something like that, like a Mary J. and Mariah Carey or something like that.
R. Kelly versus 14-year-old.
Oh. R. Kelly versus State of Chicago, wherever he's getting going to jail at. The state of Illinois. I'm sorry, I said the state of Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. That's his case right there. He probably put on in terms of showmanship. He probably puts on a good show. But I think the world could probably do without an R. Kelly versus battle right now. I don't know too much about like, and the ones that have already done it, like Keisha Cole, I think did it. I think Brandy and Monaco did one.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey.
So I'm saying Mariah Carey versus Mary J would be lit.
Oh my gosh, too much divas. No, man. Mariah Carey wouldn't have that. In her writer, it would be like Mary J. Blige can't do these songs. Like all of her songs. Yeah, that would be banana. Lauryn Hill versus Mary J. Blige. I don't think that one work either. And Lauren has that hip hop element too, so she could rap with it.
Did you see Nas dropped a new project?
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill is rapping on it.
I heard. Yeah. Did you heard her verse?
Yes. Listen, first of all, I love the album. I love Nas.
It was good.
But I was like, yo, Lauryn Hill's rapping? Oh, I got it too, man.
Yeah, man. She had a good verse too. It was like she addressed things. And she mentioned like how people criticize her for being late with things. And I forgot the exact way she framed it, but it's like criticize me for being late when I'm doing this thing that's helping people out. It's like, all right. That's a cool line, Lauryn Hill. It was great to see her on there. I'm glad that no one else jumped on the track. Whereas we had EPMD 2, which rightfully so, I think it's a cool combination. You could just have the legendary EPMD and Nas. That's in itself, that's a record. Throw Eminem on there. It's like, oh, that's such a weird styles clash between Eminem and Nas and then EPMD. That's a crazy record right there. It was cool.
I didn't expect to see that song on there, those features like that, but it worked out well. I think they structured the song well. Like EPMD went first, but then like Eminem like had his normal long verse at the end. So
it's smart to do that. Have him close it out. Whereas EPMD, they're good. They're good, and they're like they did their EPMD thing, and it's like kind of like a homage to them. I think the beat, because I'm not as familiar with EPMD's catalog, but the beat is an EPMD song.
I believe it's sampled. So it might be I Got to Chill. I'm not sure.
It could, because funny enough, I heard that beat recently, about a month ago. Battle rapper B Dot, he used that beat in his Loaded Lux diss record. And I was like, oh, this sounds familiar. And I realized, because I know it's B Dot thing, but it must be an EPMD thing.
That's probably what it is. One more thing about the Nas album. I think my favorite song is the one with A Boogie and YG. It's called YKTV. You know the vibes. It was
okay.
I'm gonna tell you this now. I love YG, yo. He don't be like in the tabloids. He's still a blood, just a gangster. He just likes to rap in some time. You know what I mean? I like YG, so that's
Bro, that's the lifestyle we're kind of rocking out with. Like, we live the life, but we still podcast. like out here, Speaking of which, man, what kind of gang affiliated activities you been up to?
Comedy.
And the people, if you're just listening, Alan's face with it. Well, I've been doing a lot of
I'm in these comedy gang streets, set tripping and thugging, Yeah, man. I've been trying to get as many shows as I can end this week because next week I'm going on my yearly vacation that I was going with my family and stuff to Outer Banks. So we're leaving tomorrow. So had to get the comedy in before I take this week off.
Sorry, I have a spiting jumper.
Spider.
Yeah, it just jumped on the paper while I was trying to get it off. All right.
I'm telling you, man, you in a zoo right now.
In a lot of ways, man. We got birds, we got spiders, we got white women. It's wild out here, bro.
Producer Pat said Doolittle over there. Kirk Doolittle.
Kirk be doing big though. I went to I did Music Fest again this time. They did it was a kind of condensed comedy version. Like they used to do like the festival. Yeah. They did they're doing just like 4 different shows, like those End Friends shows.
Yeah.
So like I was on the Jim Twos and Friends. Jim Twos, wonderful comic, very funny. Him and I are not necessarily friends before this though, so I was like, should I call him up and be like, yo, let me borrow $300? We're friends, right? That was a really fun show. Everyone did well. It was sold out. Like the first time I've done comedy in that venue countless times. This is the first time the whole Blue Cinema, the movie theater they do it in, sold out. Yeah. And they had a sign language interpreter, which is always fun. Always fun. You ever do one of these with a sign language interpreter?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I have. How was it? Did you say like nigga a lot? Make them sign nigga?
No, but I flirt with them a little bit. It was a honey dip. But like it was because you have the choice to just kind of go up there and just doing your set. But for me, it's hard to like act regular.
Yeah.
When someone is just right next to you, maybe mocking you. Like if you can't read sign language, you're like, what are you? Stop.
Yeah.
But it was fun. The audience was cool with it. People, they wanted to dap the king up afterwards. And some of them got dapped back and some of them, got left hanging.
Was this you said it was at a cinema? Was it Still Stacks?
Yeah, the Arts Quest Center. The one that you did Conversation Club in. It's like that Blue Cinema.
So that was probably popping then. That's a nice little
venue. Man. It was nice. Like I'm annoyed. I recorded the set and it's one that I would use to like submit, but I didn't get in the shot, I didn't get the sign language interpreter. And a lot of my set was like interacting with the sign language interpreter. But either way, it was definitely a fun show, and people definitely showed up for just Music Fest in general.
Yeah,
that's been a fun thing in comedy recently.
That's literally one of my comedy goals is to have my own and friends show.
Yeah,
like, I want to have a show where it's like Alan Massenburg and his friends. Like that's like one of my comedy goals. And
it's not one that you're necessarily putting together. It's like a venue reaches out to you, be like, hey, we trust you, get friends. Yeah, no, that would be cool. They do it at a bunch of different venues. I'm sure you're not too far removed from it. In a way, you have kind of your own and friend show. How'd Hunky Dory go?
Hunky Dory was great. You know what I'm saying? And yes, that is like an and friend show, but it's different because I produce it. You know what I mean? Like, right. But the show has been great, man. I can't ask for more, man. It'd be like damn near sold out every time. You know what I mean? So like I
saw the photos, bro. I saw the photos and I like looked for Brian in them. I was like, damn it. But then I looked around, I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. People are coming up, showing out, smiling. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's a good feeling when I'm just walking down the street and people are like, you're the guy from the comedy show. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Do they do anything where they're like we recognize you from a certain bit, or like we recognize you because of your hair? Like when people see you on these comedy streets, what's the first thing they comment on?
You know what? People don't comment on any particular bit, but the people that I do see, it's people from the show that I'm hosting. You know what I mean? So like in the neighborhood where I'm at, I'm hosting the show, so they just know me as the guy with the show. You know what I mean? They don't know me from like the guy with this one particular bit. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I'm hosting, I'm doing jokes, but I'm focused on having a good time, getting the audience, warmed up and things like that. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's a particular bit. They're not like, oh, you're the guy with the sometimes dreadlock things. And, it's just they're like, you're the guy from the comedy show.
They don't stop you. Be like, yo, what up, Big Twist?
Oh,
Yo, what up, Big Twist?
big twist with jokes. No, they don't. They don't do that.
Damn.
They don't do that.
You should get that nickname going for you. I've been referring to you as Big Twist in my head for like a good 3 weeks probably.
That sounds like what I smoke at night. Big twist.
Big Twist. That sounds like a renal friendly diet meal, where it's like it's almost like a breadstick but a twist that you eat with your coffee.
Listen, I mean, a little garlic twist. I like that. Maybe onto something there, Kirk.
Damn.
Yo, before we move on, I need to tell you about this fucking food that I had yesterday. I've been listen to me, my man. I had vegan Caribbean food. Listen.
I don't know about this one.
Listen, let me tell you. I'm gonna cut to proper suggestion. This is my suggestion.
Yeah, proper suggestions.
Bro, look, producer Pat said tail. Nah, yo, they had a thing called moxtail.
Moxtail. Ew.
Yo, hear me out.
Mox.
Hear me out. I'm telling you, they had Rasta pasta. You familiar with Rasta pasta, but it was made with oat milk, so it wasn't dairy. You know what I'm saying? So they had the Rasta pasta, then they had these moxtails that they put on top of it, right? It was tasted just like the flavor, tasted like oxtail, but it was made with mushrooms.
Oh.
It was called Lady T's Plant-Based Kitchen.
It's in Brooklyn?
Oh, it's in Brooklyn. Yo, I'm telling you, this shit was so good. Potato salad. Potato salad was hitting.
Never heard you say that sentence before. That potato salad was hitting. So this must be very good potato salad.
Listen, it was. She sold. My girl had an event yesterday. She sold out. Sold out. She made fried chicken, but she made some with cauliflower and some with oyster mushrooms. Oh my god! Listen.
Wait. There was no chicken involved.
Right. That's the point. It's vegan, but it tastes just what people don't understand what vegan food is. Meat doesn't necessarily have this bold flavor. It's just seasoned that way.
Right.
So these mushrooms were seasoned and fried just like chicken. The flavor was the texture was a little different, but the flavor was just like fried chicken. Oh my god.
That's a funny substitute of because that's very true. Like meat doesn't necessarily have the flavor. It's the seasoning that you do with it.
Yeah.
But to think of what can we replace that'd be a healthy substitute? I would never think mushrooms for chicken. But I guess texture-wise, they're not too far off.
It was the mushrooms were they were more chewy. So it was there was piece, you couldn't bite it and take another bite. You had put the whole thing in your mouth and chew it, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of chewy. But the texture was a little different, but the flavor, yo, I could not believe. I was at the show last night telling everybody, I was like, yo, y'all gotta follow T's Kitchen. I was like, yo, this shit was amazing, yo.
What's the name of it again?
It's TEE, T's Plant-Based Kitchen.
Damn, it's mainly Caribbean food?
Yeah, man, it was all Caribbean food. She had, had the plantains, rice and peas, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it was, I could not believe the moxtails. I was like, all right, I like vegan food and mushrooms and stuff like that. So when I tried it, I was like, yo, this is it right here. It tastes just like oxtails, but it's mushroom. But the taste, I couldn't believe it.
Because the thing about Caribbean food, I love Jamaican food, but sometimes, especially something like a heavy meat like oxtail, it feels heavy afterwards. And sometimes you have to eat it strategically because do I have a meeting after this? So when something like that is substituted mushrooms, but it's still the same flavor and side dishes that comes with oxtail, it could be very good. I actually would like to try this. Next time you come to Pennsylvania, stop by her shop, pick up some for me.
Yeah,
I would enjoy that.
I'm gonna get you something. This shit, dog, I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, wow.
Damn.
So she sold out. She had no food left. She left me some rice and peas because that's all she had left, but she sold out of everything.
Oh my goodness. I want to spread the word on the shop too. I like the idea of it. And speaking of prop suggestions, man, mine's is not so tasty, unfortunately, this week. My prop suggestion is the classic move that sometimes you can forget is call before you haul. Particularly for open mics. So your boy, he was I hate Tuesdays, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hate Tuesdays. I hate Tuesdays.
I didn't know that.
It's the worst day of the week. It's just I'm sure I've had good Tuesdays. I just can't recall them. Tuesdays are notoriously just dull days for me. and I was going through quite the Tuesday. It was a Tuesday and all that stuff. So doors closed. Doors closed. People outside are gonna hear my secrets. So no, I was just, I was having a rough day, and to the point where like midway through, I was like, I'm gonna do some comedy tonight. I feel like whenever it's like a particularly like rough day or so, I'm like, comedy typically helps in some way. So I decided like, hit up Soul Joel's Tuesday mic. It's outside and all that stuff. I haven't been to Soul Joel's in a while, so I rock the purple shirt. I let it be known. I'm like, all right, we'll do some comedy and all that stuff. Shake hands, maybe. Watch comedy, chuckle, giggle. I go there, man, and granted, I've only been to the open mic there once, but I always see that it's posted at the same time. So this is the one time that I did not message like, "Hey, is it still going on?" I figured, like, you know what? I'm not even in the mood to pick up my phone right now. I'm just gonna kind of show up. Like, let me make sure I get the purple shirt real quick. So I'm out there, and as I'm walking up, I hear comics doing bits on stage. Turns out they moved the mic like 2 hours early because they were doing a podcast during the slot of the normal open mic. So it was one to say I didn't get to go up, or I didn't push for it. I think like if I like maybe pushed, but I was like, they only had like 3 comics left. But it was nice being able to see some people, people I haven't seen in a while, and actually watch comedy. So that was good. But just always a reminder, man, especially if you're going more than 30 minutes driving to a place. We got a lot of like Lancaster, Harrisburg people listening that drive to Philly, vice versa. Call before you haul. Always a good call.
It is messed up because I think I did see a post on Facebook that they were moving the show up like 2 hours or something like that. So
I wish I saw that post.
If you're not gonna call, at least check the event page.
Yeah, that's always a good. I think I did too, but I mean, I just didn't see. I didn't see a mention of the mic. And that in itself should have like prompted me to like message Joel or something. But like I was just like, I'll just show up. I think I just wanted to get out of the house. But also it would have been nice to do some comedy. But we'll get back in these comedy streets. We'll be back.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that you should definitely research before you drive any distance. I agree with that.
What was that? I don't know if you ever had to use that site. It was not Without. It was something like Bad Salvia.
Bad
Slava. Yeah, that was always like the go-to one before like Facebook groups and all that stuff, like checking open mics, whether it be like in New York or like Philly and all that. And it would always like the first thing it said on top is like call before you haul. And I always kind of remember that, except for Tuesday. I did not remember it for Tuesday. And I paid the consequences because of it.
So who was there? What was happening?
I didn't stick around because I was like, let me, treat myself to like a dinner afterwards. A continuation of Tuesday. The restaurant closed. Of course, I decided to walk there after parking my car when it downpoured. I was wearing the purple shirt. I drank wine and watched the movie Adaptation by Charlie Kaufman and Spike Jonze. Actually, pretty good. So that part was nice. Yeah.
I do. You know what? I do pride myself on being one of those. I used to be one of those guys where like I knew every single open mic, like New York, Philly, Central PA, Baltimore. Like I knew every single mic, when it was, what time, where. People used to like reach out to send me messages like, "Hey man, I'm going to this city. What mics are happening?" And I would know exactly where everything was at. I used to pride myself on.
That's like a coffee enthusiast knowing where all the like good coffee spots are. Probably, right? Which, by the way, I was gonna say shout out to Passenger Coffee on Plum Street in Lancaster. Getting that cold brew in. I was up until 3 o'clock watching Osage County with Julia Roberts and Meryl Streep.
Oh, Sandra Bullock was in that too, I think.
I think she auditioned, but ultimately went to Julia Roberts.
Same person. They're both white celebrities. I hope they bathe.
It's not a guarantee. We have been seeing a lot of this. A lot of white celebrities have been voicing that they don't necessarily bathe every day nor every week. And a lot of them are very voicing their opinion on this one out of nowhere. It's kind of like an onslaught, a dirty onslaught. Have you heard about all this stuff, man?
Yes, and I don't understand why we're hearing about it. Like, who's asking these people these questions? Like, hey, did you shower today? Like, what?
So I guess apparently Jake Gyllenhaal spoke out. I'm like, I've never heard Jake Gyllenhaal say anything to the media. Why is he speaking out for this one? Why is he letting his voice be known?
Yeah. Apparently, they're saying like if I don't stink or if I don't have like dirt on me, I don't need to shower completely. It's like, who raised y'all? Like, what?
A friend showed me this article, and I didn't read it, so I probably shouldn't be speaking on it, but I won't stop myself. And apparently, it's like the idea of like when you're rich and in this case white, and it's very much if you could afford to say something like, "Oh yeah, I enjoy being dirty," or "I don't mind being dirty," or "Oh yeah, I'm saving water by being dirty." Whereas like if someone like if a black person were to say it, I wonder if it was like say like a black celebrity, like if I was about to say Stacey Dash. I'm trying to think of like a
We had one. One
which
black
one?
celebrity yesterday came out and said that
Oh my
he
goodness.
doesn't feel like you should, if you're not sweating, you don't need to take a shower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it was
different, but
Terry Crews.
Terry
So it's along the same lines as Stacey Dash, you know.
no comment. No comment. What if it was like Megan Good came out? I don't know, like how would people if there wasn't a precedence of like I always mispronounce that word, but like if there wasn't like an established crew of white people, I know Coco was one of them, and like the Kutchers, if they didn't come out and say it and like out of nowhere, well, Kerry Washington, if she was like, yeah, I don't shower, how would that be seen a little bit differently, or is just mainly she's in a higher status class?
It's no difference. I look at it as nasty. I don't care if President Obama said he doesn't shower. It's nasty. It doesn't matter. You should shower every day.
Get to him later.
Right. Yeah. You should shower every day, and in some cases, twice a day. This is not even listen, it's not a thing that I think, well, they said it, so it might be okay. I don't care if Neil deGrasse Tyson or some of the best minds in the world said it.
He better not say it. He better not say that, man. That'd be gross. I do not want to picture that. You in the lab working all day, not showering afterwards.
It's gonna smell like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, you know what? Neil
deGrasse. Yeah, it's just nasty, you know.
That's and when I say with the Kerry Washington thing, less so of like whether it's NASA. I think like we both agree it's not necessarily something we would want to do. But in terms of how people would be speaking about it, would it be this thing of like I feel like the reactions for like these celebrities are like people are either justifying it or like kind of like raising their eyebrows like, oh, maybe. Whereas like if it was like a known black woman to flat out say, like if Oprah came out, I was like, yeah, I don't shower. That's not a good example because status wise, that's very like if we thought like Megan Good, I think is a better example of like just like down the road, known celebrity, black woman. If she were to flat out be like, I don't shower, how would we be treating her?
I'm telling you, we would treat her the same way.
Mm.
We would treat her the same way because it doesn't matter. Like for me personally, I don't care who it is. It's just nasty that you don't shower regularly every day. I don't care.
Shower every day?
Yes. I shower before you started recording. Like, yeah, I shower every single day. And like I said, sometimes twice a day. Like, so don't like Megan Good. First of all, I don't think she would do that because I think her nickname in Hollywood is Megan Good Hygiene. So like they would never, she would never do that. You know what I mean?
That's such a good nickname. It's like, oh, thank you. You've noticed.
It's one thing that I was thinking about too. These like, could you imagine these anti-bathers in these sex scenes? Like, are they showering before they smooch up on other actors and stuff? Like,
Jake Gyllenhaal, if he's out there trying to have a sex scene with like Sandra Bullock and he's not showering, I think that should be fine. Like that, not fine, but like I think he should like get some sort of like pay cut or something like that. It's kind of like a hard thing to go through.
Yeah, you have to. If you ever had a regular job, they tell you have to have good hygiene. You know what I'm saying? You had jobs where they'd be like, yo, you have to shower. And you've had those kind of jobs.
Honestly, no. I think it's a given, but no one's ever explicitly said like, Kirk, you need a shower. I think maybe they smell the vibes and they know like, all right, well, this dude, he gets a shower. He knows what's up.
I've had jobs where they say you need to, part of the like new hire packet is just talking about like, no harassment, have good hygiene. You get an hour for lunch. Like it's just part of the thing. You know what I mean? Like
I would be insulted if someone told me that. If I was like they're hiring me for a job and they're like, all right, so you gotta, make sure to shower. I don't know. I feel like it's such a given where it's like, why are you telling me this? You think you're assuming that I don't brush my teeth? I'd be annoyed. I'm peeved thinking about it, and even in the
Yeah,
hypothetical.
but it's not a given because there are people apparently who don't shower regularly.
Damn, yo, in terms of like influence, these celebrities need to chill out with that. I don't like them trying to normalize. Oh, well, we're doing it for the environment. We don't shower. Yeah, we may be a little smelly, but it's the body odor. That makes me mad. I don't want that. I don't want to be your body odor to impose on my day. I'm already having a bad Tuesday, and then someone comes through with like smelly armpits and just dirty shirts.
Yeah,
It's disgusting.
I think that is just laziness. It's laziness. Ashton Kutcher said that they'll take bird baths sometimes. And it's just like that's way harder than a regular shower.
This seems like an agenda. Out of nowhere, just a bunch of like celebrities are talking like making this a known thing that they don't bathe regularly. This seems like an agenda. This seems like a hey, we all got a memo. Not all of you have to be vocal about it, but we highly encourage that you send some sort of tweet or video out saying that you have a dirty body. We want people to know that.
It's not even like you're sending a tweet or a random post. They'll be in interviews, and somehow the interviewer is like, "So, do you wash your ass?" It's just
That's
like,
what, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's something out there where it's like, why is that a topic out of nowhere now? That's like just came out. It's a prominent topic, and it's not just one celebrity. It's like multiple celebrities. It's just that feels very like something going on right there. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
you might be onto something. It's just very strange that we went from a year of everyone finally washing their hands to no one washing their ass. It's just like, how did we get here? They must have been implanted somewhere. Somebody high up was like, yo, hit the anti-bath button. Time to go.
And well, I know one button that was pressed this week that people are making a bunch of observations and criticisms of is Obama. As we mentioned, he had his 60th birthday party. First off, happy birthday, Barack Obama. We're still big fans of Barack Obama here at Property Ebonics.
Huge fans.
Alan, not as much. Alan goes back and forth.
And we all know this is my first year voting.
Yeah. Well, we know who didn't get invited to the party then. He had a gathering and had people out there. I think the requirement was like get COVID tests, have proof of vaccination, and be able to party. And party they did. And as a result, they're now saying that Martha Vineyard, where I think the party was held, they're now stating that there's been more and more COVID cases since the party, but I don't know if they can necessarily tie it to that gathering. I think it's just kind of like, oh, well, he's having this thing, and now look what happened. They were watching. The streets were watching for Obama's party.
They need to get off Obama's dick.
True.
They need to leave him alone. Like he's like 2 presidents ago.
Yeah.
Like they just trying to find a way to make him seem like the bad guy. You know what I mean? Like we just had all these music festivals, and you're gonna blame Obama's 60th birthday party? Like, come on, man.
It's like, blame Music Fest. Blame seriously, blame Music Fest. They packed us in this room in a movie theater. Whereas Obama, it's like it's a 60th birthday. They did the precautions. I can't even get mad. Someone, you're a black dad trying to get jiggy on your birthday for your 60th birthday. I can't even get mad. It's like I'm pretty sure he like downsized too. It's going to be a bigger thing.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, well, we'll maybe bring it down a little bit, try to not police it, but kind of regulate it a bit more. And that he did.
Yeah.
I'm glad he had a good time.
They had to get COVID tests and be vaccinated.
I'm pretty sure that was part of it. Yeah.
That's like as safe as you can be.
Yeah. There's restaurants out here in Lancaster that aren't that safe. You don't need proof of vaccination. You don't need any of those things or COVID tests.
In New York though, I think in like 2 weeks, or I forget when it's going to happen, but you're going to need show proof of vaccination to get in some restaurants to do some things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and some in Philly too.
Yeah,
it's becoming a thing where we're seeing signs that are. I'm seeing more and more of like the CDC highly recommends you wear a mask if you're vaccinated, which I get. I think I've voiced before. I'm kind of I get a little wary about the idea of having to show proof of something like that. Like I get it, but I don't know. It feels weird, the idea of like, show me your papers.
I mean, listen, bro, we had to show papers to get into elementary school, right? And we had to get the polio vaccine, chickenpox vaccine, all that stuff. It's not too far
But
off.
that's like a here's proof that I did this one time thing. Whereas like having to bring it around with you, I'm logically I get it. It just doesn't sit well with me, and not necessarily because I oppose it. Um, maybe I'm just not at ease or like kind of maybe saddened a little bit of like the new idea of norm. Maybe that's what brings it, but I'm not crazy about the idea of having to show proof of vaccination, let alone if they're like, it's required to get like the booster shots. I don't think I'm going to get one until like the year anniversary of the one I got the first. I'm going to treat it like a normal vaccine.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be doing like the 2 to 3 times a year thing.
Why not?
One, I wouldn't do that with like the other shots either. And maybe because I'm treating this one like, okay, and maybe that's my rationalize like and putting my brain at ease for having it. I'm like, all right, well, I'll treat it like a flu shot, how I normally get like every year. But since I recognize this is a little bit different too, though, and I guess if there's enough science to back it, where it's like, oh, you need 2 a year, even then, I would still have hesitation.
You still didn't tell me why, though. You didn't say like the reason that you
Oh well,
have hesitation.
I trust science and all that stuff. I just I just don't want that much injected in me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, and it sounds very cliche sort of thing, but like, perhaps once FDA approved and a little bit more with time, but just in general, just like going to a doctor's office, going to a CVS in line, I don't want to do that. But I don't want to spread any misinformation. That's just how I feel raw emotion wise.
Yeah.
Would you? If they're like, yo, get a booster, 2, 3 of them.
Shoot me up. Inject me, baby.
You seem happy about it. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, I want to get back to living my regular life. I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
I don't need no FDA to prove nothing. I have put many things in my body that they did not approve of. I don't need them. I don't even know where to find them at. Where's the approved list of things that I put in my body? I don't know that list. This ain't gonna be no different for me.
Yeah, I think there is like a comprehensive list of like Food and Drug Administration of like things that it's approved that you put in your body. I don't know if it itemizes it. It's not like, yo, Snickers, are they good? I think that's just a given that you could put Snickers in your body. But speaking of which, there has been a large group of people. I think they counted for up to 1 million that have gotten a third booster shot that hasn't necessarily been authorized by the FDA or CDC. They're just like, they got it. They somehow went to like their local Rite Aid. And I think it's because you don't necessarily need to show ID when I don't know how. I looked at the article and I sent it to you too. I'm like, how did they not account for the people that have already had it, that they got a third one? And who are CVS dispensing these?
Like a third shot, is it 1 shot or is it like 2 shots? Like it is, you got to get 2 shots again, or like what is?
Yeah, I'm thinking like, because in the article I mentioned Moderna and Pfizer, which is like the one where you had to get 2. So I'm thinking that's like the third one, but they did mention in there that when they're counting the number 1, they're like, we probably undercounted it because there's many that just didn't, that kind of went under the radar that got the third shot. But also for Johnson & Johnson people, shout out to us, it's like, how do we count that? Some of them just may have gotten a second shot.
I don't know. It's interesting that I would have to do more research because I'm not sure how they would even go about getting a third shot if no one approved it.
Yeah, how they go about doing that. I can't, I've never been like anti-medicine. I've actually been pretty pro-medicine throughout my whole life. But I don't know, just getting an injection of something that I just got like less than 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just doesn't, I prefer just like to have it be an annual thing.
Yeah, I'm glad So you have your thing where it needs to be annual. I'm glad that you are getting the vaccine because I know people that I'm close to where I know a guy, he's addicted to Percocets, addicted to Xanax. Told me he's not getting vaxxed because he doesn't believe in Western medicine.
All right.
It's like you believe in it highly. You would probably give it 5 stars on Yelp.
He's
You know
like,
what I mean?
he's like, recreationally speaking, yes, I'm fully aware of Western medicine. It's very great for Friday nights. But in terms of using it as medically prescribed, not so much.
It sounds like you're being a hypocrite. That's why I wanted to ask, because that person couldn't straight up tell me what the beef with the vaccine was, because it didn't make sense it didn't jive with their daily life. You know what I mean? It's like you daily take Western medicine. You can't be like you don't believe in it. Like you give it 2 thumbs up. You know what I mean?
Well, I think, and this includes myself in a lot of ways, probably, of like that line of thought's been pushed and so prominent, especially in the Black community. I don't know the racist person, but like it's just like it's such a common thought to like be skeptical of it and just kind of and like to question it. That's like the go-to default, like question it and be not too sure about it. And I think that kind of builds that default of like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get this without necessarily knowing why you feel that way. It's just kind of it's been pushed, and it's kind of like ingrained in us to like give a little bit of pushback to what authority is pushing on us.
That's all it is. I think that's like 95% of the Black people that don't want to get the vaccine is because of who's telling them to get it. The government. You got to push back on the government. That's why they don't have like legitimate reason and being like, well, they have this in the vaccine and this does this to your body. No, it's literally just like, well, I'm pushing back because fuck the government. You know what I'm saying? Well, I get that. I get it. I get it. But it also be the people that's been vaxxed 50 times in their lives. It's just like, you've been vaxxed.
Like you've already had all the steps that you're claiming to want to avoid. You've kind of already been in for quite some time. There's like little groups as well of like, I feel like people that are very much like pro getting vax versus people that are like kind of anti-vax. There becomes kind of like a general ideology built around both of them, and without necessarily members of each group voicing it. When you hear one member is a part of group, you automatically think these things, and it's almost the same line of thought of like when it's ingrained and you're like, okay, well, I'm anti-vax, so I'm supposed to think this way and have these talking points. And same for anti-vax. When I think a lot of times, and including myself in a lot of ways, it's like, you know, put more thought into it. A lot of times it's like speaking before thinking.
Yeah.
Good luck to America.
I just want to live my regular life. I just don't want comedy to be shut down again. Like, I don't want to go into the winter where comedy clubs are closed and restaurants and bars are closed and we're back on Zoom doing comedy shows. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be talking to a muted audience. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, you're not trying to do like Zoom open mics for the Grape Room? You're not trying to do that on a Tuesday?
Shout out to the Grape Room and everybody that runs the mic there. But I much prefer in-person comedy.
Yeah.
Like
shout out to them. They're one of the few that didn't do the Zoom one.
No, they did.
We'll hold off.
Oh,
Grape
no,
Room,
not the Grape Room. Not the Grape Room. I'm thinking about Fergie's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was one of those comedians, though. I was like, I'm doing Zoom. I need some kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
it actually wasn't that bad.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't live comedy.
Some advantages. I feel like if we're looking at silver linings, like I got to know people's comedy that I wouldn't have seen or known otherwise, and vice versa. I think that's one of the advantages. Some people take advantage of like going to different city open mics because it's all virtual. So I'm not completely anti Zoom ones, but it is not the same. You're right. It is.
Yeah.
It's nice being at the comfort of your own home, though. That's kind of a plus.
Listen,
kind of very good.
You can do a show in your slippers, and you can be free balling. Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm against Zoom, But this shit ain't the same, you know. It ain't the same, you know. And I do second the sentiment of meeting people. I've met a lot of comedians from across the country, you know what I'm saying, that I would have never met, you know, because of Zoom shows. So that was cool.
While we're on this topic, you know, shout out to Philly's Funniest. They did their finals, and for those that know, Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia, and I think about all the other Heliums as well. They do their funniest competition around this time, and it's a big thing in Philly this year. I went to Joe Murdoch. Joe Murdoch, he's a funny guy, and he was awarded on Sunday. It was wild because like I feel like a lot of our contemporaries were in the finals. People that like I don't know, like we've done stuff with. Like I feel like a lot of times that like the finals there'll be ones where it's like, oh yeah, I've seen that person around, like I know of them. They've been doing it for like a while, whatever. But this year is like, oh yeah, like yeah, Megan Getz, nice. Jeff Leah, it's like, oh wow, nuts.
I think that I don't know if a lot of people say that the amount of people sign up that usually sign up.
I think less so this time because this time it was like the quarterfinals and straight to semifinals. Or those just like the preliminary semifinals finals, whereas usually there's that the quarterfinals part where it filters it out more. So that probably was the case. Not to say that takes away from anyone that made the finals, because I looked at the lineup and it was bonkers. I was like, oh shit, this is a crazy show. So yeah, no, shout out to them for that, and shout out to Joe Murdoch.
Are you going to do it next year?
Probably, yeah. I don't know what stopped me this year. I missed the deadline and just didn't. I didn't have the energy this time. I think just in general, when it comes to comedy and competitions, you have to kind of get your mind right and like have a level of like energy and emotional energy to like put yourself towards it. And this year I just wasn't, after missing the deadline. Like I think I missed the deadline the second time I did it, and I reached out and emailed them. They put me on the wait list and I was able to get on. But this year it was just like I have a few other things going on just energy wise, and I just wasn't feeling it as much.
No, you definitely need to be in the right mind space to do comedy competitions, because if you're not, you're just going to lose.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. The lose, or, you know, it sounds cliche, man, but that honestly is one of the better places, or one of the good spots to get a tape. Like it's like quality video. It's a like packed room. Like if I get why someone would do that competition solely for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll pay $20 to get in the competition and just get a tape out of it. If I advance, nice. My main thing is just getting a good tape.
Yeah, that was getting a good tape in comedy is very important, which is why I did something that I don't do and I won't do. And this situation that I had confirms that I'm not doing it ever again. I wanted to get a good tape. I needed like a new tape. You know what I mean? So I got reached out to by a promoter who does ringer shows. And I was explaining to him, I was like, I don't do that. I'm cool. I don't do that. So but we came to an agreement. It was like, okay, how about you only bring 2 people? I'm like, 2? Well, I probably could finagle 2 people.
That seems doable.
I could probably get 2 people, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't. So I got down there. I was like, man, my 2 people ain't show up. They was like, well, you can sit in the audience and watch if you like. I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. I'm never.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. It's like, you know, you have the equipment to go up there and like do well, but because you didn't do a certain requirement of bringing people, especially like, you know, you've been doing it for a while and all that stuff, it feels degrading.
Yeah. And my girl was like, you know, you don't do these. You say you don't do these. And I'm like, I don't. But I was like, it's just 2 people. You know what I'm saying?
First off, where was your girl?
My girl had to work. She was in her store. And I had to be down there at 7:30. The store closed at 8. She couldn't make it.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So
I was about to put you on blast.
You know what I mean? But look, when I was talking to the guy in my head, though, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I just got to bring one more person. I'll just bring her. And I was like, oh, shit, she can't come. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So it is what it is, man. But I'm sticking to my guns, yo. I don't care how many people, I'm not doing it. I'm better than that. Okay. I'm not going to, I got my own show. I bring people there. I mean, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
you know,
No, that's why Brian needs to start coming out more. If Brian, we may need bringers on occasion, and kind of letting us down right now.
if I was thinking, I would have told you to reach out to Brian, but I didn't promote it. Like it was only like a 2-day notice. I didn't like promote it that much. I reached out to like a couple people, but it was just like I wasn't all the way in it. Like my heart wasn't in it. You know what I mean? I wasn't like trying really hard to get to. I was like, my whole thought process. I'm not gonna lie, my thought was like, they're not gonna tell me I can't perform. I was like, if I'm here, they're not gonna be like, no, and they were like, no.
That's wild. Have they seen you perform before?
I originally reached out to the booker, like I sent them my bio, I sent them a tape, just trying to get like a regular spot.
Yeah.
And he came back to me like, well, we do the bringers, people that we don't know. And I'm like, I sent you my tape, my like.
You mean people you haven't shaken hands with? Is that what you haven't done the formality of being like, smelling me to see if I smell good? Yeah, that's weird. I don't necessarily agree with that, but they may have their reasons. I feel like there was one other comedy note I wanted to bring up to before we head out. Oh yeah, I feel like you posted something like you're going to be in the city in like August. Are you doing any shows in Philly?
Yeah, I'm Wednesday the 25th. I got 2 shows. You know what I'm saying? But I'm coming back for vacation on Sunday night. So my plan was I'm gonna just because I haven't performed in Philly. I haven't even been to Philly. You know what I mean? I think since like damn. I go to my dad's house and stuff like that.
The park show in Philly.
Yeah, that was like last summer.
Yeah.
That was like fall. That was like September last year.
Yeah.
So like I haven't performed in the comedy streets in Philly in a while. So I was like, I'm making a point. So Sunday the 22nd to Wednesday 25th, Philly comedy. Like I'm be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I put a post up, try to get some shows. So I got a couple shows that open. I know the mics, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to try to hit the mics, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be out there in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was like, yeah, I'm out here, So.
Nice. I'm going to try to slide through for one of them. On the 22nd, I think they're doing an open, I don't know if you're going straight to like Lancaster at all, but 22nd, that Sunday, they're doing Phantom Power's mic on a Sunday for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, so I may go to that. It's my birthday on that day, so I may do some comedy on my birthday and see how that pans out.
It might have to be a celebration. Sunday, I was going to try to hit Fergie's. I haven't been there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely link in that 3 or 4 day period while I'm around.
So. Yeah, Fergie's could be cool too. In terms of that, I went there last for their comedy off the leash show. It wasn't Fergie's. There was one place I did for my birthday. It was like I had a whole birthday day, and then like 11 o'clock out of nowhere, I was like, I'm gonna do comedy, and then I drove out to it was Raven. I think it was like probably my 24th birthday or something.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, but yeah, man. Maybe I'll see you in these streets. The rest of my day, I'm going to a friend's like wedding gathering. It's like a combined bachelor and bachelorette dinner.
Hey,
yeah,
strippers.
I don't think so. I think like it's gonna be chicken strippers. But
chicken strips.
Yeah, chicken. Pat says I won't repeat what Pat says. Not about my good friends. So yeah, I'll be around. Comedy wise, August 25th, I'm doing Sarah Cartwright's show in Pottsville, which I've never done. It looked like they had a good showing last time, so that should be cool. It looks like it's mainly Lancaster people on this card. So yeah, it should be fun.
25th, yeah. Yeah. So I'll be in Philly that day, so I won't be. We're gonna link one of these days though. Gotta do something. Well, good seeing you guys. I gotta get an oil change because tomorrow morning I gotta drive like 7 hours.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your trip. It's gonna be fun. You got to be old boogie board and all that stuff.
You already know how I get down. I'm paddle boarding, jet skiing, all that. Do it.
I want to see you just do like a Puff Daddy lip sync video on a jet ski. I think that would be kind of cool.
Right. I can make that happen.
Please do. Thanks for listening, and say your prayers, like, subscribe, Stickers may or may not be coming soon. They're coming soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I got a lot of free time next week. I'm gonna get that popping.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, good stuff. Peace, man.
Peace.